Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, all. Online students, is my voice is loud and clear? Online students. So let's start the session. So in the last class, we are discussing about the Excel VLOOKUP function along with the pivot tables and how to create in terms of multiple pivot tables and using the pivot tables, how to analyze the data, right? Now in today's class, we are going to discuss the next one called as within the last, what are the data set we are practicing, the same data set which I'm going to use now. And so just a minute, I'm trying to delete everything. I'm just using the only the data set. Okay, this is the data set which we are practicing in the last class. And I asked the students to work on this data set and create the dashboard using the Power BI. Right now, coming to this data set where we are having the transactions. So what are the transactions we are having? Different types of transactions IDs. And next one is transaction ID. Transaction ID along with the transaction date on which day the transaction was done, and the revenue and expenses. So revenue minus expenses will give the profit. And what is the category? And what are the unique values of category we are having is whenever you are working on the data set, obviously you have to do the data exploration. Though in the class I am doing the data analysis stage, but whenever you receive a data set, you have to follow the sequential order. You should not miss the sequential order. If you miss the sequential order, you will only not understand the further steps where you have to analyze, how you have to analyze. For example, some of this, if you have taken the same data set and without doing the data exploration, you are not doing any kind of data exploration, directly you are sitting for the data analysis. So you want to do the data analysis on this data set. You don't know which one we have to do. What we have to do, you'll ask the question, sir, you told that data analysis we have to apply the logics, but how we can get that logic, sir? You'll ask that question. You have to get that logics, or you have to get that questions, means you have to follow the sequential order. So when you follow the sequential order, you'll understand, okay, this company is spending some money on the different categories, and based on the different categories they are making some kind of revenue, and based on that they are spending some expenditure on that, and from that they are making the profit. So there is a company which is making based on the certain limits, and it is operating from the various regions. So obviously when we see that it is operating from the various regions, we'll get the question, which region is making more profit, which region is making the more amount of revenues. For example, bank is there. HDFC Bank is there. Bank is operating from the different branches. They are giving the different types of loans. They are making the revenues, or they are making the profits from the savings account. I mean, fixed deposit interest rate, or from the deposits, or from the loans, like this. Now, when it is having the multiple categories, obviously we'll be interested how much the bank is making the revenue from the deposits, how much the bank is making the revenue. Revenue means total amount. Okay, in that expenditure also will be there. Total amount is different. For example, bank may create 100 crores, but in that 100 crores they have to pay the rental. What are the HDFC Bank, they have to pay the rental, they have to pay the salaries, they have to pay the AC current bill, and they have to maintain the systems or laptops, software. And if any problem comes for that software, they have to give the support. So for all these things they have to pay. Those pays will comes under expenses. Net profit will be there. So they are going to check in which department or which category or which area they are making the more amount of profits or more amount of revenues. That is only our work. Data analysis means that one only. For example, some banks will make more amount of profit on the credit cards. For example, let us go with the Bajaj Finance. What is the difference between the Bajaj Finance versus HDFC Bank? HDFC Bank will make the good amount of revenue based on the deposits. What are the fixed deposits are there, and whatever the we are having the savings account balance. Our savings account balance, whatever we are having in our savings account. For example, in my savings account, 5 lakhs is there. This 5 lakhs will be rotated. They will use for their internal purpose and they will use for their loans purpose. And they are going to give me only 3% per annum, but they are going to use that one for 16% per annum, and they are going to make the profits from that. That is called as interest rate margins. Okay, that banks will do. Now the same thing Bajaj Finance can do that one? No, that is not possible because Bajaj Finance is not having the bank. Then how it is making the profit? Based on what it is making the profit means through different sector. And that profit is high, or HDFC Bank's profit is high means Bajaj Finance profit is comparatively very high, because there is a high risk. When there is a high risk, automatically their profit also will be in terms of very high. At the same time, loss also will be high. If they properly don't manage, they are going to get very huge loss. When compared to SBI, Bajaj Finance is, there is a high probability they'll get a loss. If they properly manage everything and they are having the proper setup and they know properly to the which people they have to give the loans and which people they don't have to give the loans, if they properly manage, they'll make the huge amount of profit, because their profit percentage is high. Their interest rates are high. When compared to bank, or always NBFC's interest rate will be high. When interest is high, automatically the profit also will be high. So now we are going to observe all these things. See, now very simple logic, guys. So now some students will ask again, sir, still data analysis. See, for example, I want to go for the housing loan. I want to purchase a house. I want to take a housing loan. Now, when I go for the home loan, see here, I'm entering the home loan calculator, something. Now, when I enter the home loan calculator and I'm going to take the home loan. So here I'm going to take the home loan, which is 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakhs, 1 crore. 1 crore home loan I have taken. Now, if it is a bank, I'm going to get at 7.5 interest rate. What are the interest rate is there? It is 7.5. Okay. Now, I'm keeping like this. It is a 7.5. or 7.3 something. Now, I'm going to take for a tenure of 25 years. Now, 1 crore is the money which I have taken, and I'm paying the interest of 1 crore 17 lakhs. In the 25 years, I'm going to pay 1 crore 17 lakhs as the interest rate. See, now this is 7.3 is the banks. Now, if I go to the Bajaj Finance for the same, their minimum interest rate is in terms of 9.5. Now, the same 1 crore, same 25 years. Now, instead of paying 1 crore 17 lakhs, now I'm going to pay 1 crore 62 lakhs additional money. Just instead of going with the 7.5 interest rate, I'm just increasing to 2%. So now this analysis we have to do before moving to the housing loan. If I go with the NBFC, how much is a housing loan? If I go to the bank, what is a housing loan and what is the interest rate? How much amount I'm going to pay? I have to check that. This is also called as data analysis only. That every common person will do this one. Not only me, any person, whoever is going for the housing loan, they are going to check in which we are having the rates. Similarly, when there is a company and we are having the different categories or different regions or different customers and different payment methods, obviously we have to check with respect to which payment method we are making the more amount of profit, because company requires the profit. So which payment method gives the more amount of profit, or which product line will give the more amount of profit, or which department will give the more amount of profit, or which region is making the more amount of profit, at the same time which category is making with respect to more amount of profit, and which combination. For example, region wise, North America is making the more amount of profit. Within the North America, again, which subcategory. So like this, we are going to make the complete analysis on the given data, right? Now here, as I've told you in the last class, we have discussed the pivot tables, or we have discussed in terms of VLOOKUP functions on all these things. Now, for example, you want to do the some kind of data cleaning or data transformation. Now here, it is going to redirect to the Power Query only. Do you remember in the Power BI we have discussed Power Query, where we have done with respect to transformations and data cleaning. Now here, see, I'm going to have the data. Okay, I'm going to click on the tab called as data tab. In the data tab, here I'm going to have the options to get the data, different options to get the data. And here I'm going to select the data called as from table by range, this one. Once I select this one, it is going to select the entire table. What all my table is there, it is going to select my entire table. Or if it has not selected, then I'm going to select the first cell and click on the shift plus control right click, so that it is going to have the right side. Similarly, control shift plus down arrow mark, so it is going to take the complete data. And once I take this data and click on the OK, see, observe, I went into the data within the data tab. In that, from table by range, and I'm going to click on the OK. Now see, the table was created in the Excel sheet like that. At the same time, it has redirected to the Power Query. See, it is completely transformed into the Power Query. So you are going to do the data cleaning or data transformation within the Power Query editor. Is the point is clear? So here you are going to transform the data. Already we have discussed Power Query editor along with the add column, how to add the columns or how to transform the data and everything. Again, it is simply redirecting to the Power Query editor only. Okay, you can add the columns, you can modify the data, you can do something. And finally, once you have done everything, you are going to click on the save. Once you click on the save, Excel sheet will be again back normal. So you can do the entire data cleaning within the Power Query itself. So generally as I've told you, 99.99% of the real-time cases, we are going to do the entire data cleaning or data analysis, or along with the whatever the final presentation, everything mostly it will be done by using the data visualization tools like Power BI. They are called as BI tools, right? Now coming back, now we are doing the some kind of analysis within the Excel sheet, right? So let us continue here itself. Okay, let me keep this one side. This is not required for now. So let us do the some kind of data analysis. As I've told you, any company, first tell me from your brain, according to you, what is the first question you are going to get when I have shared this kind of data and the business problem, and I have explained the business problem, and I told that I require the analytical report. What is the first question you are going to get? For example, profit. What is the total amount of profit? First, total amount. After total amount, what is the total revenue? Sum. Initial, we are going to check the sum. And in the Power BI, we are going to display using the cards. In the card, we are going to display the sum of the revenue, sum of the expenses, sum of the profit. Now, I want the category wise profit. Category wise profit I want to get means in the Excel, how we can do that one? By creating the pivot tables. So how to create the pivot tables? Insert, click on the pivot table, and once you click on the pivot table, it is asking the table, and I'm going to select the table, that entire table. Okay, and I'm going to click on the new worksheet, and I'm going to get the new pivot table in this way, empty pivot table. Now here the sheet name I'm going to give as data, and this one I'm going to give as some kind of renaming to pivot table. Okay, now in this pivot table, just what is my question is profit along with their categories. So I'm going to select the categories. What are the categories I'm having along with the profit amount? What is the profit amount I have made? So this is the amount of profit along with the for each category. If you want to replace this one as category, how to do this one? How you can modify this one? You are going to write just by using the category. And this one, sum of the profit, just I want to rename it to the total profit. Okay, total profit. Now, and I want to give the commas. How to add the commas? Just you are going to add in terms of in the home button. Within the home, there is an option, comma. And if you want to decrease the number of decimal points, you are going to click on this and you are going to reduce the decimal points, and you are making like this. Okay, this we have already discussed in the last Saturday's class. Now the point is, from here we are going to create a chart. So how to create a chart? Select any data value within the pivot table. Sir, it is mandatory to go with the pivot table? Yes. Without pivot table, we can't get the aggregated data. For example, I want the sum of each category. Sum of each category is called as aggregated data. Individual total sum is different. Sum of the category wise now. Each category wise I want. So it has to do the group by. Each group, each category I require the whatever the total profit it has made. So here I am going to select the data and I am going to click on the insert. So when I have insert, here can you see the recommendation charts or normal charts? You can even click on this. Okay, you can see all the charts, or simply you can click on the recommended charts. Both are same. Recommended charts, if you click also it is same, or if you click on this one also it is same. You will get the list of charts, but it will recommend for you which chart is the more suitable. So which chart it selected automatically by default? Column chart. For the given data, it has selected the column chart. So once I click on the column chart and if I select like this, I'm going to create a column chart like this. So how you have created the chart within the Power BI, in the same way we are going to create the chart within the Excel. Now this is the chart. Now I want to do some kind of formatting. Do you remember in the Power BI, first we have created the chart. After that we will do the formatting on the X labels, Y labels, data labels, title or values, increasing the style, that one, this one, everything comes under formatting. So similarly here also I'm going to click on this and there is an option called as plus symbol. Then this is going to give you the formatting option. So once here there is an axis, first option is called as axis. So that side there is an arrow mark. Click on this. Then you can see here horizontal, vertical. If you clear this vertical, see vertical values will not be visible. Means what are the vertical values, that is y-axis values, that is y ticks will not be available. If you remove this one, x ticks will not be available. So just I don't want the y ticks. Okay, X ticks I required, but I don't require the Y ticks. Now at the same time, I'm going to have the this one titles. On X axis, what is the title you want? On Y axis, what is the title? So see here, X axis title. So here you can write in terms of the title, what are the title you want to mention? I am going to mention the category is the title. And if you want to do the formatting on the title, just you are going to select this one, click on the home button and you are going to select whichever type you are interested. Okay, and what are the size you are interested, and you can keep in the bold letters. Okay, now same way once again still. So you know, now you understand the title now. At the same time, title I'm going to add on the horizontal also, horizontal title. So when I add the horizontal title, what is this one? In terms of profit, total profit, total profit. You can add the total profit and you can give the size. You can increase the size, whatever you want to do. Just okay. Just you have to select the data. After selecting the data, just increase the size, or you can add the colors, whichever you are interested. Formatting. Just I am showing the formatting. So in the formatting, there is no fixed rules. Okay. Next, chart title. Chart title means this one. This is the overall title. So total profit, I'm going to give the chart title like this. Total profit with respect to category. So by category wise. Total profit category wise. So I'm adding the title in this way. Category wise total profit. And just I'm going to give this one also. I'm going to format. I'm going to do the formatting just by setting in terms of size. Okay, category wise total format. And if you want to add a different colors, or if you want to fill something also, you can add. Choice is yours. If it is looking nice means okay, if it is not looking nice means Control Z. Okay, and you are going to create like this, and after that again in the formatting you are going to keep in terms of chart title data labels. I'm going to give the labels instead of giving on the y-axis white ticks. I'm keeping as the labels. You can even select the y-axis, and I'm going to remove the grid lines. Now finally the plot will look like this. Sir, but values are small. This legend is there now. You want to remove the legend means here just you can unbox the legend. So legend also will not be available. And sir, here what are the categories are there? Those categories are not properly visible means select these categories. What are the categories you are having? So here you are having the different options again. So you can add in terms of categories size. You are going to change the size. These are all comes under formatting the data. Okay. And similarly, you can give these values also. You can format the values also. Just you can increase the size. You can give what are the size you are interested, and you can keep according to your choice. Okay. And if you don't want these things, these are called as buttons. Within the chart, there are options called as buttons. If you want to remove the button, click on the button and click on the particular button you want to remove or all the buttons you want to remove. Here two buttons are there. What are the buttons means? One is total profit, one is category wise. Two buttons are there. These two buttons I don't want. So I'm going to remove the hide all the buttons. So buttons will not be visible. So finally you're going to get a plot like this. And this plot you are going to keep, see, for this plot you can add the borders. So you can go with the style, different styles, or if you want you can add the borders. So just double click on this and it will be formatting. You are going to get in terms of borders, and you don't want any kind of borders means click on the no border. And if you want to fill, if you want to fill something, just you are going to add with respect to filling. You are going to fill like this. Okay. If you don't want to fill anything means just you are going to not to fill anything, and you are going to keep simple in this way. Okay. And size, colors, everything is of your choice. It is not mandatory. For example, I'm going to remove the access title. I don't want even the access title. It is sufficient for me. It simply show that what is the total profit based on the each category wise. What is the total amount profit? It is showing. It is very simple for me. Now I want to keep in the dashboard. Now what I'm going to do is, see here, I'm going to click on the one new sheet, and this sheet I'm going to rename as dashboard. Okay. Excel dashboard. I'm going to rename the sheet. And here I'm going to keep some heading. Okay. Just I'm going to do the merge. Already I have told you in the starting initial classes itself what is meant by merge. And here I'm going to write Excel dashboard. Okay. Now what are the Excel dashboard is there? This one. So this value I'm trying to keep in the center. Now this value, whatever I'm having, I'm going to increase the size. Excel dashboard. And I'm going to give in terms of like this heading. Okay, something. So you're going to create the Excel dashboard, some heading like this. And after creating the heading, now this chart, what are the chart is available here now? Control C. And here within the dashboard, select any cell and Control V. And keep the various plots like this. How many plots you are going to create now? Each and every plot, finally keep it within the dashboard. Is the point is clear? So just you are going to add in terms of like this in the, by using the pivot tables, you are going to analyze the data, and what are the analysis you have done, that analysis you are going to keep inside the dashboard. This is creating the column chart. Now, sir, are we going to create, for example, this is completed. Just I'm trying to remove. In the dashboard, it will be already have pasted in the dashboard now. So here I'm going to create one more pivot table. Okay. Table number 2. So I'm copying the previous pivot table and I'm pasting here. And in this pivot table, what I'm going to do is I'm double clicking on the pivot table. So here within the pivot table, so instead of taking the category and the total profit, I'm going to see the region wise. Within the region, I'm removing the category region and the region along with the total profit. This is the region wise total profit. Okay. Now what are the region wise total profit is there? I want to select in terms of a different chart. So for that, what I'm going to do, insert, and I'm going to click on the recommend chart, and I'm going to click on the pie chart. So I want to see which region is giving the more amount of profit percentage. Which region is contributing more? Which region? You want to represent their counter, you want to represent their percentage. Percentage representation means pie. Earlier we have discussed in the Power BI within the Matplotlib and Seaborn also. Same thing. I'm going to select the pie chart. and I'm going to click on the OK, and I'm going to get the pie chart in this way. Now, after getting the pie chart, initial pie chart, now what you are going to do? Formatting. First, you are going to create one pie chart followed by formatting. In the Power BI also we have done the same now. First, we are going to select the data. Which data should be selected? We are going to drag and drop. So there in the Power BI, how we are going to drag and drop? In the pivot table, we are going to drag and drop. Within the Power BI, how you have done in the pivot table, you are going to do. In the Power BI, how you are creating the initial plot. Here also you are going to create the initial plot. After creating the initial plot, in the Power BI, how you are doing the formatting. Here also you are going to do the same formatting. Same thing. Okay. Now here I'm going to click on the format. Here chart title is available. Data labels are available. And within the data labels, here you can see data labels. You want inside or you want outside. The data labels will be outside, or you want the inside at the edge. Internally end. End means within the inside, it will go to the end. In the center, you are going to get in the center. Okay. Now best next you are going to have the best fit like this. See, this is the where you are having in terms of region along with their percentage. This is looking good. So when it is looking good, why I require the additional legend? Then remove the legend. Automatically, if earlier legend is there, then automatically I have to see blue color indicates what. Now blue color indicates automatically Africa. It's clearly showing now. So I'm going to select like this. And this one title you are going to modify. You are going to keep the title as profit region wise, total amount of profit percentage on region wise. Okay, you are going to select based on the region wise profit. I'm showing for example profit. It's not only profit. You can even select the in terms of like whatever we are having multiple like expenses or in terms of revenues. Okay, region wise revenues, region wise expenses, like that. Which one is more important? That you have to keep in the dashboard. But before keeping in the dashboard, we have to analyze so many things. See, our analysis is more. As I have told you earlier, for example, if I have to go for the housing loan, I'm going to approach to the multiple banks. And I will discuss with the multiple banks what is your interest rate, what is the maximum tenure you are going to give, and what is the maximum amount. All these details I'm going to discuss with the banks. But I'm going to purchase from all the banks. I'm going to take the loan. No, finally I will take the loan only from one bank. But before to that, what are the backend I'm going to do? That is called as data analysis. So you are going to do so many things. You are going to observe so many things. But while presenting, you are going to present which is more important to the client. Whatever the observations you have made, every observation you have to present to your team leader. Every day's work. So today I have shared one work for you. Morning, you have done some analysis. Morning to evening 8 hours you have done so many questions, so many things you have observed, so many points you have written. But if you in the end of the day at 6 p.m. end of the day in the meeting, if you tell me only 2 or 3 points, so these are the important observations. If you say, I will ask that, hey, have you done only this, sir? So while presenting to your team leader what are the work you have done, you have to elaborate so much of thing that you have done this much of work. You have to highlight in that way. But when you are presenting to the client, then you have to show only the important points. Is the point is clear? Your presentation is to your company people or to the outside person. Outside person don't want every analysis, but internal person wants the complete analysis. Why they want complete analysis? Because what are the work you have done, they should know, right? Whether you have done the work properly or not. Now, similarly, you have done the modifications. After doing the modifications, for example, this button you don't want, again, right click on that and click on the hide or remove the field. So if you click on the remove field means it is going to remove the entire data. Now, so here button only not to be visible. So simply click on the, for example, multiple buttons are there and particular button only you want to hide means, then in that case, you have to click on the hide a particular button. All the buttons you want to hide means click on the all fields, all the buttons. use of button. Yeah, button will show you the unique values. What are the unique values are there? For example, categories are there. Okay. For example, let me show you in this chart. Okay. We have hidden the buttons, right? Basically. So here, what are the buttons we are having? Okay. You can do the formatting. You can view the text, or you can move the charts, everything. These are the various options, right? So from these various options, just 1 minute, I will show you one more example. In the dashboard, first I'm copying this one. I'm selecting any particular cell. Then I'm going to click on the Control V. Okay, you are adjusting your height and everything accordingly. As per your choice, you are going to adjust. Okay, done. This is completed now. Now, coming to the next one. So within the same pivot table, pie chart we have completed. We have completed in terms of column chart, all these things, right? Now, just I'm trying to, as one of the student is asking in terms of what is the use of the button. Just I'm trying to insert one more time in terms of column chart. Okay, and I'm going to click on the OK. And here you can see with the button, these are the options and where you can do the filter. For example, I'm doing the filter by selecting the data, only the HR. Okay, and click on the OK. Everything will be adjusted with respect to the HR. Okay, and if you want to apply the filter with respect to HR and marketing and operations, remaining two things you don't want, you are going to select like this. Is the point is clear? How we are going to select the filter within the Power BI? We are going to keep in the filter, drag and drop the category, and in the filter, how we are going to select, according to that, everything will be modified now. So in the same way, see here when I am applying the filter within this R&D, it is not going to modify only in the plot, even in the table also. Here HR, marketing, operations, three only are there in the pivot table. Here in HR, marketing, operations are there. Now when I click on the R&D and click on the OK, within this table also it has changed. Here also 4 was changed. According to that, this one also, the entire sheet, it is impacted. Whatever you are selecting, it is impacted on the entire sheet. What are the filter you are applying? Is the point is clear? So like this, you are going to select the data. That is the advantage of the button. At the same time, you don't want final things you want to show without having the interaction or without changing anything. Just you want to show the final one. Then in that case, hide the button. Otherwise, you want to keep like this in front of others. For example, here I'm going to copy this sheet. What are the sheet? This diagram is there in the dashboard. I'm going to keep in the dashboard. Okay, in the dashboard I'm keeping like this, and in front of others I want to modify something. Then I'm going to select in terms of this one, only these three categories. So according to that, everything will be modified in that particular sheet. Is the point is clear? In the entire sheet it will be modified. In one of them, if you apply the filter also, see similar kind of filter on the overall sheet. Is the point is clear? Now coming to the pivot table one more time. So this is the column chart and this is the pie chart. So if you want to change this column chart to pie chart, just again you are going to insert, and here you are going to select this one as pie chart and click on the OK. So earlier it is column chart, now it was changed to pie chart. Sir, why 3 only are there, sir? 5 are not there? Because you have applied the category filter now. Side, can you see the filter symbol? Since filter is applied, it is showing that one. So just you select all and click on the OK. Okay. Whenever you represent the pie chart, don't forget to show the percentages. Percentage is mandatory, whether it is in the Python, whether it is in the Power BI, whether it is in the Excel sheet. Whenever you are using in terms of pie chart, percentage is mandatory as a data label. Okay. Now, so pie chart was completed, column chart was completed. Now we are moving on to the one more chart. Like that, creating the multiple charts and keeping all of them in the place is called as dashboard. That's it. Now, earlier how you have created the dashboard for previously Superstore dataset and what are the dashboard you have created for that. In your notes already dashboard is there now. With you the Power BI dashboard is already available now. For the same dashboard, for the Superstore dataset which you have practiced in the lab, for the same dataset, same Power BI dashboard as it is you create in the Excel. And tell me what is the difference you have find. Sir, when compared to Power BI is more simpler means, then that is the reason Power BI has released. If everything is in the Excel is easy means, why to create Power BI then? Is the point is clear? So Power BI will have the additional advantage. That is the reason it is called as powerful tool, powerful in business intelligence tool. When compared to Excel, before to Power BI, Excel only, everyone used to depend on the Excel. In the year of 2000, 2005 and 2010 era, between 2000 to 2010, in that decade of time, many people works are is on the data analysis means Excel only, most of the time. Now, everything is working on the latest one called as Power BI. So that is the reason, if you see in our course, what are the total duration of our course is there, more amount of time we have spent on the initially on the Python and more amount of time we have spent on the Power BI. Almost for 1 month we have spent on the Power BI. The reason behind that is, in the reality, why I have discussed more amount of time on the Python means, in the future you are going to become as a data scientist. So you should be familiar on the programming language. At the same time as you are going to work as a data analyst in the Power BI. So I have focused on those two on the more amount of time when compared to. That is in the reality, once you enter into the company, you will find that things. Because as once you work as a data analyst, you will work mostly on the Power BI. Once you want to go to the advanced next level, obviously in your brain, hey, I want to move from the tools, who are working on the tools like DevOps persons or AWS. These are all the tools. Okay, who are working on the tools, generally they want to shift their career from the tools to any other things means, first they'll get a question that whether we'll understand the programming language clearly or not. That is the question which they'll get initially. And whether we can sustain in this or not. Now, you're having the idea that you're having a good knowledge on the Python means, obviously you'll get the interest to become the data scientist in the future. Advanced level. As a fresher, sir, whether you recommend for us a data scientist or data analyst means, as a fresher, in this class, how many freshers are there? Who are the passed outs of this year or last year? For those students particularly, I recommend always data analyst for getting the initial job easily. At the same time, data scientist also good only. But the thing is, comparatively, the number of jobs or getting the jobs easily in the company, freshers for that, getting into the company easily, that will be done by the data analyst. But growth will be in the data science. So simply to say, this one and that one both are important. Okay, initial step is required. At the same time, growth is also required. Some people will have the intention, sir, I want to see what is the difference between the, if you know, front-end developer versus full stack developer. Front-end developer means UI developer who creates the website. They will get the quickly the job, or full stack developer will get the quick job means front-end developers will get the very fast. There'll be more number of opportunities. Only if you learn the front end or if you learn the website designs, you'll get very quickly the jobs. More number of openings are there. But if you learn the full stack, entire full stack, if you learn front end, back end, and everything, middleware, everything, if you learn, comparatively, you'll get the job slowly, but growth will be in that. Why? Because more salary now. More salary means obviously any person wants to give one step more salary, always they look for the experience. Okay, less salary only, freshers are interested. Because by paying the more amount of salary, we can't take the questions of the freshers and will not make the disturbance in the company. So salary should be low means, in terms of work also should be low. Full stack work is very high. For that high work, they can't pay low salary. These are the examples in the reality. Is the points are clear? So now here we are having the column chart. This is this one. And I'm going to create one more table, pivot table. This time I'm going to create one more pivot table. You can create the multiple pivot tables like this in a single sheet, or you can create the multiple sheets and you can copy everything into the finally into the dashboard. So in the one more table here, I'm going to create in terms of this pivot table. What are the pivot table is there? Okay, this particular pivot table. So here total profit amount, and we are having in terms of, till now we have checked in terms of profit wise. We have checked it till now in terms of profit wise. Now I want to check in the revenue wise. That too, the revenue in my data set I'm having with respect to the revenues. Already I have checked in terms of category wise, region wise, and now I'm going to check the department wise versus revenue. Department versus revenue I have to do. Department versus expenses I have to do. Department versus profit I have to do. Similarly, category wise revenue, category wise expenses, category wise profit, region wise revenue, region wise expenses, and finally I have to identify expenses. Expenses is more is good or less is good? Less. So I want to check which category is making the less expense. That one I have to highlight. Which category is making the more amount of expense? Which category is making less amount of expense? If that category, a particular category is making the more amount of expense, but their profit is comparatively very low, then why to continue with that? Unnecessary, na? Instead of that, that department only they are going to close. Otherwise, they are going to focus more on that, how to reduce the expenses. See, for example, in Naresh IT only, we are having the different courses. In one course, very less number of students are there. What Naresh sir will do? He has felt that for that particular course, only 10 students to 15 students are getting enrolled. But what are the classroom and what are the salary for the trainer and what are the projector or what are the setup and expenditure is everything is same. Even in the classroom of 50 students also, the expenditure is same, and even the 10 students also, the expenditure is same. The room rent is not going to change. The projector, what are the furniture cost is there, that is not going to change. Admin salary is not going to change. Telecallers phones is not going to change. For them, the salary is going to be the same. Everything is going to be the same. Expenditure is more, but it is making the less amount of profit. This was observed by the Naresh sir. Then Naresh sir, what he is going to do from that? How to improve the business from that? Or a course is having very less number of students and that particular course is making very less number of profit. What he is going to do in that case? Either he will remove the course, or if that course is having a good demand, then he'll identify why the students are not more number of students, and he will modify either in the digital marketing, either he will do the more marketing for that particular course, or he will try to bring the more experienced trainer for that particular course, or something he will do. Something has to be done. Means first you have to tell to the narrator, sir, this particular course is not having in terms of good amount of profit. That you have to show now initially. Your analysis, once you show, from that he will take the decision to improve how the business. That to improve the business, multiple options are there. Either to remove the course is one option, means to improve, to increase the amount of marketing. How much amount we have to increase in the marketing? That is one more. So different options will be there. That option, what we are going to select, how we are going to improve the business is second step. First, you have to show which course is having more demand, which course is having less demand, which course is making with respect more amount of placements and less amount of placements, or profit wise, revenue wise, all these things. First, you have to show the report. Later, they will take the decision. Similarly, here also, which category is making the more amount of revenue, which category is making with respect to less amount of revenue. For example, some categories will be there. For example, in this case, see, HR is making in terms of 21 lakhs 51,000 profit. Now, for example, expense, assume for this revenue is 22 lakhs. 22 lakhs is the revenue. In that expenditure, I'm going to have only of 49,000. 49,000 is the expenditure. Now automatically what is going to be 21 lakhs 51,000 is going to be the profit amount. So this is the total revenue and this is the expenditure. For example, this one is making a 1 crore revenue. Revenue is 1 crore, but at the same time expenditure is 67 lakhs is there. Now here you are going to make the net profit of 33 lakhs. Assume this is the case. Now in this case, what the person will do? Okay, here expenditure is very high, but at the same time profit also very high. Though in the HR is making very less amount of expense, here it is making huge amount of expense also, but at the same time it is making a good amount of profit. We can't delete this one now. Are you going to remove the marketing? No, 33 lakhs profit now. When compared to HR, profit is more, right? Now in this case, what they'll think? Okay, expenses, how to reduce? How to reduce on the expenses? They'll start focusing in what area there is having the more expenditure and how to reduce that one. They'll start thinking about that one. Instead of deleting that one, oh, more expenses are there, remove this department only, they'll not think. Because it is also making a very good amount of profit when compared to other departments. When compared to operations or when compared to HR, marketing is making more amount of profit. Now in this case, what they'll do is, they'll start thinking of the how to reduce the expenses. Sir, here you have shown only with respect to this one, no sir. Where is remaining two columns? Add the remaining two columns. You know how to add now? In the pivot table, you know how to add in terms of remaining two columns or not? Yes or no? Within the pivot table. Just here you are going to add in the pivot table. Okay, subcategories you are having in terms of show pivot table options. So here you are having in terms of the pivot table and one minute. So this is value. You are going to select the value either sum or count or average. If you select average, it is going to give the average profit. If you select in terms of count, okay, what are the count is there? It is going to give the number of records. Count means number of records. And if you want in terms of either in terms of average means average, minimum means minimum, maximum, standard deviation, variance, like this. So already we have discussed all these things in the previous class, how to do that one. And if you want in terms of sum, so I'm going to select the sum of the profit, right? So like this, you are going to create in terms of multiple pivots and from that dashboards. So for example, you want to create one more pivot table in a separate sheet. You don't want to use the same sheet of the previous pivot table, whatever you are having. Instead of that, you want to have the separate sheet. Sir, why it has created these many sheets with the data? What is the reason behind that is, here, when I have selected this one, here in the pivot table, basically in the pivot table, what I have done is double click on that. When I double click on that, okay, it is going to in terms of data wise. When I double click on that, it is trying to open by default data. Why it is opening by default the data? What is the reason behind that is, when you right click here, okay, when you right click here, you can see in terms of formatting or sorting or in terms of show details or values, show field list, and all these things we are having now. So it is selecting by default in terms of the details, show details. So what are the pivot table, and you are going to click on the right click and show details, that is selected by default as the double click. Is the point is clear? Just I don't want this one, just I'm removing this one. Now here in terms of I'm going to create one more pivot table. Tell me guys, how to create one more pivot table? Just you have to click on the insert, click on the pivot, click on the table range, and how to select the entire table. Are you going to select in terms of drag short? What is the shortcut? If you forget the shortcut, if you have forgot the shortcut, in that case what we have to do is, we have to obviously we have to select in this way manually. We have to drag like this. If you forget the shortcut means, this is the option. If you remember the shortcut means, then in that case, no need of this one. Simply you can select the cell, whichever the one cell, and from that cell, click on the Control Shift right arrow mark. Similarly, Control Shift down arrow mark. Then entire table will be selected, and you want the pivot table in the one worksheet, a new worksheet. So you are going to get the pivot table in this way. Now here I'm going to add the pivot table. Now my required pivot table is in terms of, earlier I told you what is the pivot table I require. Department along with their revenues. That is the requirement. Or I want the comparison between the different departments or region along with their. So here I'm going to select the region. I'm going to select the region. In the region, I'm going to take their expenses, revenue. First, I'm going to add the revenue. Revenue followed by expenses followed by profit. Okay. Now, here I'm going to select in terms of comma and comma. Why comma every time you will add miss? Because to understand easily. So in lakhs, everything, or crores, to explain properly, to explain, right? Now here I'm going to select in terms of plot. What are the plot I'm going to select is in terms of, I'm going to select the line plot. In the line plot, can you see comparison plot, comparison line plot? So this is the comparison line plot. I'm going to take like this. So in terms of the profits, which area is making the more amount of profit, which one is making the less amount of profit. Or if you want to go with this, instead of this one, you can even select in terms of column chart. And within the column chart, you can go with the clustered or you can go with the stacked. See, if I select the stacked, it is going to show me like this. Obviously, data labels, more formatting, you know, na. Again, I will discuss the formatting. So forget about the formatting. Just if I'm selecting the different chart, what is the answers I'm going to get? See, this is the clustered side by side. Right? Which one is making in terms of more, which one is making in terms of less. And if you select in terms of line chart, or you can select, generally pie chart will not be selected. Pie chart will be applied on the univariate. Here I'm having the multiple. So it is going to be the bar chart only. So either you are going to use the horizontal bar chart. So for example, you want in terms of horizontal bar chart. So do you remember in the Power BI, in terms of column chart, bar chart, stacked bar chart, unstacked, that is clustered, everything, na? Same thing. And you can choose in terms of area chart. Okay, area chart, or you can add, for example, say, sir, area chart is good or bad. Let us add, let us see. If I add the area chart and if I'm getting like this, I'm going to get the area chart in this way. Then area chart will not be applied here. So then where the area chart will be applied? See, for example, here I'm having only this one. Okay, without using, this is pivot table now. So here within the pivot table, I'm removing this one, remove this field, and some of the expenses also I'm removing. Okay, now here I'm having in terms of like this. Now tell me guys, here I'm having with respect to the region along with the revenue, region and revenue. Now I'll show you the multiple plots for the same table and tell me which one is looking good. First one I'm going to show you. First I'm going to select any one value and then I'll click on the recommend chart. First I'm going to show you the column chart. This is the column. Let us keep this one side. Okay, one more time. I'm going to select the value and I'm going to click on the recommend chart, recommend or anything, pi. This is second one for the same thing. Okay, third one, I'm going to click on the, again, one more value, keep this one side, one more value, and I'm going to select in terms of pi is area chart and click on the OK. Three are there. Okay, now this is one option, this is one option, and this is one option. So total three options are there. Now, first let me do the formatting for 3 of them and I'll show you, and later you tell me which is looking good for you. First, I'll do the formatting. So here I'm going to do the formatting. For doing this one formatting, I'm going to click on this and click on the plus symbol. I'm adding the data labels. I'm removing the legend. Chart, I'm going to keep this one. Title. And the title I'm going to keep in terms of what are the title is there. Title is revenue, region wise revenue. Region wise revenue. Okay. I'm going to keep like this. And here in the formatting in the data labels, I'm adding in terms of percentage also. And that too, the what are the percentages I have selected, I'm going to keep them outside. And I'm going to keep like this. And this one I'm going to remove. That is nothing but I'm going to hide. Okay, this is region wise revenues. And this one also same. I'm going to rename this one region wise revenue. Okay, region wise I'm going to do the revenue, and this one I'm going to remove. And here I'm going to do the formatting. How I'm going to do the formatting means, first I'm going to remove the grid lines. At the same time, I'm going to remove the legend, and I don't want the data labels. I'm adding the data labels. Okay. And in the chart, I'm going to remove the white ticks also. Within the chart, I'm going to give here center over what are the data labels above the chart. Okay. And this whatever we are having in terms of, okay, this one I'm going to add in the borders, and you can do the formatting. Okay, chart area, chart title, plot area, all these things. So just you are going to select the chart options, and for the chart options, if you click the fill, this is overall chart. It is going to fill on the overall chart. Okay. And if you select on this next one is called as chart title. For the chart title, you are going to add the fill. You are going to fill some color. What are the color you are interested? That color you are going to add in the chart title. Okay. Or for example, I'm selecting here this one. Okay, this is for chart title. You are filling the value for the chart title. I don't want to fill for the chart title. I want to just I'm trying to remove this one. For removing the chart title fill, what are the fill you have done? Just I'm going to click on the no fill. And within this chart area means entire chart. Entire chart you are going to fill. I'm going to fill with a color. It is looking nice means no. It is not looking nice means come back. Now, next you are going to select in terms of chart title, text options. Can you see here text options? What are the text options you are having? The text fill. What are the text value was filled, and you are going to add the fill, or you can add in terms of any style of the fill. And here I'm going to keep the series. Okay, series means values. And data labels. See, this is the most important one. In the data labels, I'm adding in terms of no fill. No fill means it is not going to fill. If I fill the value like this, it is getting filled. And here I'm going to give the alignment. And here I'm going to give this one. Show data labels. What are the values from the cell? From the cell means you are going to select the cells, and from that cells it is going to give the values. And you can add the series names. Series names means this x-axis values also will be added here. But I don't want that. Only category name is sufficient along with their values. And you want in terms of values like this, and headers, that number, what are the number is there. You can increase the font style of the number and all these things. These are all called as formatting. Different styles of formats. So this different styles of format. and you can add in terms of what are the formats you want. You can select the formats. First, what you have to do, don't get unnecessarily confused with the multiple plots. Select any one of the plot first. When you are doing the first time practice, okay, you are a learner. So when you are doing the first time practice, what you have to do is first you click on the any cell. After creating the pivot table, click on the cell. After clicking on the cell, insert and click on the recommend chart and select any one of the chart of your choice. First, select any one chart. For example, I have selected here area chart. Okay, selected and click on the OK. Once chart was selected, now you start thinking about the formatting. Now for formatting, first you click on the this one, first plus option. This is completed means right click. This is second option, and third one is within this double click and you'll get this one. Within this, these are the options. So like that, you are going to select one by one, explore each and every option. Okay, for area chart you have to explore, for the column chart you have to explore, for the pie chart you have to explore, like that for each and everything. See, I'm going to click on the column chart. What I've told you, sorry, area chart. First, what you have to select? Plus. I'm going to click on the this one. Now here, what is axis? Axis means nothing but X ticks and Y ticks. So you want any Y ticks means you are going to select. If you don't want means you are going to deselect. Okay. This one is clear now. Axis. Titles. Titles means you are going to give the labels. X label, Y label. Similarly, chart title. This is overall chart title. Next one is data labels. You are going to give the data labels, that is data labels like this, and within the data labels you are going to select in terms of bailout. Now here already this same thing is visible here now. Then again x-axis x labels are required. X ticks are required. No, not required. So remove the x ticks now. If you don't require, remove that and increase the size. Now do you require the legend? The legend also not required. Then remove the legend. Grid lines you require? Lines. These lines do you require? No, not required. Remove that. And whatever the title is there, you keep the title as region wise revenue. Region wise revenue. Like this, you are going to do the formatting. Now, this one do you require? Generally, what are the buttons are there? Buttons should be of categorical data. Filters will be applied on the categorical data. Category wise we are going to select. So this button is not required. So particularly this button is not required means this one only you are going to remove. This is a categorical data now. For categorical data, if you want to add the button means keep that one. If you don't want means remove this one also. Hide this one also. No sir, this one is important. Category no sir. If I want to highlight only a special category, then you keep this one. Is the point is clear? Like this, you are going to create the and format. For formatting, what you have to do? Double click on the plot. Then this right side option will be available. This is a different. This is different. When you double click on this right side, you will get this one. When you click on this, you will get a different one. Here you are going to select in terms of button region. Okay. See, chart options we are having now. So here in the chart options, what are the different chart options I am having? This, let us keep this one side. Chart area. With the chart area, no fill. So no fill means backside white color background is not there. You are going to fill. You are going to fill with the which one you want to fill. For example, if you fill with the white, the cells are not visible. The entire cells are filled with the white color. Now I told you in the starting initial classes, what is this? If I select like this, and if I select the border, and if I click on the fill of white, I'm filling with the white. Then what happens? The entire data will be filled with the white color. And if I click on the no fill, so now see here, this one I'm going to merge and I'm going to give the fill. Same way it is getting selected here also. What are the sheet you are having? That backend. And now this text diagram is there now. For the diagram, whether border is available? Have you seen any border? No. If you want to add the border, just you are going to click on this, and here you are going to select in terms of border. And if you want any solid line, you are going to add the border. Now can you see border? Edges? That is your choice. Sir, border is not looking good, sir. Remove them. Border is looking good. Add them. Whatever you want. In whichever way you are interested. Just you have to explore the options. What are the options are available here? You have to explore the each and every option. Chart area, chart title, in terms of total. And here if you fill. So if you add in terms of fill, see, you are going to fill with the which color? You can change the color. Earlier it is blue color by default. Now you can change the colors. Is the point is clear? Sir, can we change the same way colors for this column chart also? Yes, for the column chart also. On the column, double click on that. Then you'll get the right side, this one. Then automatically you'll get in terms of options here. Just click on this and select the total, and what are the total is there. Select in terms of fill, instead of blue color, modify to another color. Which are the color you are interested? If more colors you are interested means go with the more colors and select which are you are interested and click on the OK. Is the point is clear? So if you want to modify the colors of the columns means double click on the columns. If you want to modify this one means double click on this. If you want to modify this one means double click on this. Whichever you are interested to modify, double click on that. Is the point is clear? Formatting is clear in the Excel. And obviously you know in terms of what are the sheets you have to follow. I mean, what are the plots you have to select. In which case pie you have to select, in which case stacked, and which take unstacked. Already you know all these things. Again, I no need to explain particularly. Select the stacked. Now tell me guys, for example, I'm removing this one. Okay, here I'm going to select this, whatever I'm having. What are the pivot table I'm having? Okay, so for example, here I'm going to select this data, remove. Now tell me, if I select the entire data, I'm asking you the question. I'm selecting the entire data one more time. And I'm going to create one empty pivot. Now, in this case, okay, what are the pivot table I'm having? 1 minute. I have not selected the entire data. One more time, I'm selecting the entire data here. Okay, and I'm going to click on the pivot table. Okay, entire data was selected, right? Done. Okay, now all the columns are visible. Now, my question is very simple. I'm having the different payment methods. For each payment method, I'm having the revenue, expenses, and along with their profit. Now tell me guys, I want to represent this one. Okay, what are the data I'm having? I want to represent in a plot. Which plot I have to select for this? For this case, can I apply pie chart? Is that possible? Can I apply scatter plot? Should I apply the scatter plot? No. Then which type of plot I have to apply? It is, we have to apply in terms of comparison plot, either in terms of either clustered bar chart or in terms of line chart for comparison purpose. Now, I want to see their total number of transactions. See, I'm going to create one more pivot table. I'm going to create one more pivot table here. Now, in this pivot table, I'm going to select in terms of payment method, each payment method, number of transactions. Okay, it is going to give me the count. Now this one I want to represent. Now which one is good one for this? Which transactions are more, which one is less, which one I have to use for this one? For this table you want to represent as a plot, either column chart, bar chart or pie chart in terms of percentage. So many people are doing with the cash transactions. More number of transactions are based on the cash. Less when compared to less number of transactions are PayPal. Or in terms of bank transfer, this much percentage of transactions are done by using the bank transactions. So within the Naresh IT, some students will pay using the credit card. Some people will pay using the cash. Some people will do the UPI transactions like this. Now Naresh sir wants to know which amount of transactions are more and which is having the more contribution. Then I have to show as a pie chart. Sir, in our case, we are getting the more, that too within the offline and online, separately. In this again, subcategories I want. Then what I'm going to do? For example, within the categories, again, region also I want. So region also I'm going to bring internally. Now in this case, what type of chart I have to use? Can I apply now pie chart? Earlier I told pie chart. Now can I apply pie chart? No. Obviously you have to go with the unstacked bar chart only. Side by side. Within the bank transfer as the X category, within that each bar, each subcategory. So based on the data, we are going to select the type of the plot and we are going to make the plots, different types of plots. Is the point is clear for everyone? Anyone has any questions? Guys, if anyone has any questions, you can ask. What are the questions you are having? And try to create the dashboard within the Excel. Now, which dashboard you have to create? Now, what is your task? I'm going to give the task for you. Now, you have to complete this task before your project. What is the task now? So, if possible, offline students try to sit in the lab and try to complete the task by today. Now, what is the task for you is in terms of you have to create here two data sets I have selected. One is called as transaction data set, which we are using in the Excel sheet. This we call it as transaction data. And the next one we give it as sales data, that is which is nothing but superstore data. These are the two data sets which we have practiced. This one we have done on the Excel and this one we have done in the Power BI, right? Now whatever the you have done in the Power BI, same thing your task is do on the Excel. This one you have to do in the Excel. What are the Power BI dashboard earlier you have created in the Superstore? What are the exact in your case, what are the Power BI dashboard you are having in your laptop? As this same kind of dashboard you have to create for me in terms of in Excel. Sir, in the Excel I want to show the sum of the profit. How I have to show the sum of the profit as a card? Very simple. Just you are going to select in the dashboard card. How to select the card means just you are going to merge the multiple cells. In this multiple cells, you are going to bring that value. Whatever that value you are having, that particular value you can select here. For example, I want to show the total amount of profit. Okay. So how to create the total amount of profit, guys? In the Excel sheet, how to create the total profit? So within the profit column, here you are going to click on the auto sum. Where is auto sum? This one. And you are going to get the total profit now. Now this one you want to show in the dashboard as a card. Now how you are going to show in the dashboard as a card? Here you are going to select the value. What value? You open here in this, select this particular cell and click on the OK. That value will be selected here. And you know how to bring into the center, how to do the modification for this one, and how to add in terms of commas or decimal values and everything. And if you want to add in terms of total profit, you are going to add in terms of total profit and you are going to fill the data. Okay, you can add in terms of like this, create the cards. Okay, is the points are clear? Anyone has any questions? Yes, online students, one of the student is asking a question, and offline students, if you are having any questions, you can ask. Now Sunil is asking, sir, I want to show the chart of daily train booking data of agency based on the multiple sheets, but not able to do like have sheet 1 have 1st January to 30, sheet 2 has 1st Feb to 28 Feb. Like this, I'm having the 12 sheets for 12. Very simple. First, you have to do the concat. That is nothing but you have to do the join. After joining that one, entire things into one. Could you keep in the silent mode? Okay. So once you keep that one in the, what are the sheets you are having, just you have to join the data. Obviously in the reality, we'll get the multiple sheets. Just we have to combine. So obviously I told you during the pandas data frame itself, do you remember concat and join? When you have to use the concat means when you are having the data set like this, that to particular this example only I have taken, not exactly train booking, but when you are having the Flipkart data from 1 to 30 in one sheet, in the another data frame, another date from February, all these things, you are going to combine them. You are going to join them. And once you merge the data, that is concatenating the data, then you are going to work. Sunil, is your question is clear? Sunil, done? Right. Done, guys. That is the end of the session for today, and we'll continue in the tomorrow's class. If you are having any questions, you can ask. Yeah, one more point. As I've told you that we are going to have the Power BI project now. That is not going to be today evening. It will be in the next 2 days. It is not today because backend team they have to give the allotment for the space. So evening some class is not available it seems. So within this week only we are going to have one class for that. If they don't give any option like that means we'll do in the tomorrow's class itself our Power BI project. Instead of delaying for the evening class, we'll go with the regular class only. Okay. Just I'm going to intimate you. Today there is no class in the evening. As of now, today there is no class. Right? Done. Sir, I'm having the problem while installing the Office 2024. What is the problem? Mr. Ray. Yeah, others, you can leave. If you're not having any questions, you can leave. It says it could not be installed. So I have shared you the step-by-step procedure. Na? Have you followed the same procedure? For others, it is clear and everyone successfully installed. Then you have to connect with your mentor once and share your screen. And what are the question you are having, you have to ask. Without seeing your what are the error or what are the problem you are getting, we can't answer that. Right? Done. That's it, guys.